Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Bard's Playhouse Presents Tales from Shadow Valley, Season 4, Episode 7, One Man's Trash. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's bring in our wonderful cast. We have Eldritch as Khan, the Bloody Rizzolo.
Always great to be here. I wonder what we're going to scrounge up this time.
Who knows? Shane as Umbromancer Zavid.
I'm in my hedonist phase.
And Elliot as Reese Guiltleaf, the Heartseeker.
Oh man, it's not Shadow Valley without tech issues, and I apologize to any and all people who tried watching that VOD. Mainly the DM, who I know is especially the one who tried watching that VOD.
Yeah, last week was a little painful, but we got through it. Hopefully our sound will be better today. Yep, hopefully everything goes better today. We did doubles and triple checks, but as always, I'm Lumpy Bronzearm, would be your DM for today. Last time, Lux Et Umbra discovered an ancient secret. Within the harbor of the pirate city of Riddleport, a massive stone ring had lain dormant for millennia. Covered in indecipherable runes, the brightest minds of Galarian had failed to glean any truths from the ring. Even with the added hyperfocus gifted to these scholars by the alignment of Aposte the Messenger, no progress could be made. Until, that is, Lux Et Umbra weighed anchor in Riddleport. Through magic, wealth, wit, and a recently learned extinct dialect of Elvish, our heroes learned the secrets of the ring. However, there was not long to celebrate as a portal opened up in the center of the ring, out from which emerged a mighty space kraken. Thinking quickly, Reese used his extensive knowledge of language to attempt communications with the kraken. As it turned out, the titanic squid and its leviathan anglerfish minions wanted nothing more than to return home. But not before slaying their enemies, the ice chewels. Huge, rime-frost-covered, crab-like aberrations clacked their mandibles as they descended upon the harbor of Riddleport, and the soft, tasty sailors thereon. Quick as a flash, Lux Et Umbra teamed up with the spacefaring monstrosities to try to put low the arthropods. While a lithe vidolith dangled its bioluminescent lure hypnotically to distract an ice chewel, Khan the Bloody lived up to her namesake, leaving nothing but chum for the fishes. Reese made a quick crab kebab with the peppering of magical arrows into the frozen creatures, and while the chewels may have been immune to the frigid vacuum of space, Zavid discovered they had no such resistance to his divine shadow magic, ripping the very soul from one's body, leaving only a steaming husk. As the final crab creature came ashore, the kraken dispatched it with a single blow of its mighty tentacle. Acting quickly, Zavid attempted to calm the citizens of Riddleport by loudly explaining the creatures are lost and want to go home, then showered the city in informational pamphlets about the conjunction. Further out to sea, a plan was hatched. Utilizing a hunk of regurgitated space whale ambergris as a planar focus, Zavid was able to shift the mighty kraken and its lieutenants back to the cold blackness of space. Having had enough of Riddleport, Lux Et Umbra set off northwest upon the Windseeker, towards the lands of the Linorm Kings. The further north they fly, the colder the air chills, the faster the snow falls, and the thicker the sea ice grows. And that's where we're coming in today.
Woo!
But once again, floating within the infinite black void, we come upon the Harrowmat of the fortune teller, Baba Yaga, her raven locks floating in the air. She looms large above the horizon, and in front of her, a dozen basketball court-sized cards with the faces of familiar NPCs you've come across in the past, and several you have flipped already. She looks down upon you and says, "Greetings, players. Welcome back. It hasn't been too long, but it always seems too long to me."
It does, yeah.
Way too long. I'm just glad everything is working now.
Hopefully so, and it will be a boon to continue thus. Shane, please step forward. It is your week today, and I do believe there are guesses that we need to put into the chat, yes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so let's the
I
three
have
of
a
us go ahead
question.
and- Yeah.
What were the ones I picked the last couple times?
Oh, I can tell you that. Let me see, I've got my notes cards. The last ones you picked were Glastwick Finibus and Ilkana Alinor. You picked the two villains.
I did. And somebody, I believe L, picked Archibus, Boldebard.
No, Danny did. Ash, I
Oh,
mean.
really?
Ash picked
Oh,
Archibus
yeah.
when she was the guest starring for one day.
So my initial thing I wanted to do was pick all the villains.
Mm-hmm.
But that is now. I'm sorry. I had the chat open because I shared a
whoops.
link.
It's all
So I
right.
saw the first guess. So you might want to change your answer, and I'm sorry.
Change your guess.
All right.
I can't spell, but that's my guess.
So my plan to pick a bunch of villains is now ruined. I can only do half villains, so I have to do the other half amongst these 5. What we have here is we have an orc that we only knew for a while, but the magic that he taught us to draw upon with his sort of almost dead god is almost completely forgotten, but not quite, because he's the last of the clerics, has been very much a boon to us throughout this campaign. Like, it's been very helpful.
Oh, yes.
Then we got Gunnar. And this is like, we're going to his place. This is his home turf. It does make sense. We would want his thing, right, for the story. But if that's the case, when are we ever going to pick Smush Stuff? Smush Stuff, the ogre that we learned about this guy, and he was just like a troll living under a bridge. Like, he was just like a highwayman, no better than a bandit. And suddenly, not only has he learned etiquette, has he learned how to be a gentleman ogre, but he still smushes stuff, and he's just as good as ever. And
he does
that bow tie. That bow tie
The bow tie
is
looks
impeccable.
great.
Impeccable. It's bespoke.
It's bespoke. Very good. I like that. And then we have Ma'at, the Song Pharaoh, the first good lich, maybe the only good lich, who used positive magic and bardic sort of magic to become a lich, which is very unusual. I kind of like that. And lastly, we have Jophiel, who is a gnome with the bleaching, as it's called, when they start to become bored of the sort of experiences they're having on the material plane. But we tried our best to like get her to like look at life in anew, and maybe take a sabbatical in the Feywild to like gain some of your, color back before returning to the material plane for another round of adventures. Like life doesn't have to end now. You can experience more, and I like the message of that. But are we going to pick someone who's not directly involved in what's happening now, or are we going to pick someone who is? And I think, to be fair to myself, I'm going to roll a dice.
Ooh. There's
Here's
fives.
who I'm not going to... Yeah, here's who I'm not going to pick, so I can just roll a d4.
No, find a D5. Make it exist.
I'll make that exist. Here's the thing. We're not going to just spend one session in Gunnar's place. So I'm not going to pick Gunnar. I'm going to let somebody else pick Gunnar, either next session or the session after. I think we got to earn Gunnar's card. I don't think we're just going to learn about his story. We don't know enough about what's going on to get his card right now. So I'm going to pick one of these other 4. One is Gazcool, 2 is Jophiel, 3 is Ma'at, 4 is Smush Stuff. Jophiel.
Hey, my initial guess was correct.
And I didn't gain that at all because I rolled.
Nope.
So
I did change my guess to Ma'at, so I was wrong there, but that was my first guess. So, as you said, very well, Jophiel, a member of the Gardeners of Corvosa, in a heroic adventuring group in their own right. Very well. And she reaches down her mighty hand and... Whoops, wrong button. Sorry. And she flips the card over, and standing there in front of you is the small gnome with white hair, white, long eyebrows that stick through her eyes. She has a tattoo on her cheek. She wears kind of somewhat drab clothing, but she has a single chrysanthemum flower with a bit of pink in it on her lapel. And she looks to you and says, "Hello, Shane. It is good to see all of you again. I am glad to be here.
Same.
So, it would seem that Galarian requires my aid once more. I am pleased to bring this boon to you. I hope it brings you luck. And she pulls out a scroll and begins to read. Divine words flow from place unknown. Confusion spreads, scared to the bone. Can speak and hear by voice and tone, yet language change and chaos sown. When played, all foes within sight gain Jophiel's oracular curse of tongues for 10 minutes. Let me explain how this works, because this is fun. I have for I'm just going to tell you this at this point because Zavid would have figured this out in his studies, and I think I've told you this at one point anyway. When Eox the Dead comes into alignment and the occultism magic starts to become affected, instead of the, you know how arcane users get the hyper-focus like Khan, you get the divine bigotry every morning, that thing. Occult magic users gain, if they fail their wisdom save, gain the effects of Oracular's Curse of Tongues, which basically means that they have, whenever they get excited or they get into combat, they can only speak one language and understand one language that they roll randomly. So I have a table of 20 languages that you can, I will even list here. Let me throw that into the chat.
So we can Tower of Babel our enemies for 10 minutes?
You can and here's the best part about it, is that not only does it do that, but it makes it so that every single one of them has to roll a separate d20. So each one speaks a different language. And so you can see in the chat there, I put them up. It's 1 is Draconic, 2 is Dwarven, Elven, Gnomish, Goblin, Halfling, all the way down.
Wow.
So you could drop this bomb on, say, an army and cause a significant amount of chaos.
Question. What kind of magic does Reese have again?
You have occult magic, but you do not have spell slots yet. So until and unless you get spell slots, you won't be affected by that.
Awesome!
Mm-hmm.
When's that maybe in alignment? Is that soon?
Relatively. It's one of the later ones, but it'll be. Actually, I can tell you. I have them in my MISC notes. I should not be lazy.
I speak a lot of these languages. There's a good chance that you'll understand what we're saying.
I vaguely understand most of them, so that's why I was like, how the frick is that going to...
But see, it's while you're in combat, the one you roll for, that is the only thing you can speak and understand until you calm down. And if you critically fail, it lingers for an hour.
Oh, that is hilarious.
But if you don't ever get spell slots, it won't be an issue. But to answer your question, the next planet that'll come into alignment is Castrovel the Green, which will affect Primal Casters, which is none of you. And then after that will be Eox the Dead, which will affect both, with definitely Zavid and Reese if you get spell slots.
Cool. Interesting. Nice.
Yes. But
I need to practice my fake language babble, just like... Very
that. But Jophiel looks to you and she says, I hope that this boon can cause enough chaos to come to your aid. Not all chaos is a bad thing, as it were. Goodbye. And she fades away into a blue hologram.
No, she bleached out! She's gone!
No, she disappeared!
So it looks like the remaining 4 are Gazkul Demon Killer, Gunnar Sun, Ma'at the Songfarer, and Smush Stuff. Next session, I believe it is, yes, Eldritch. It will be your turn to pick.
My turn.
Ta for now. As Baba Yaga fades away into the distance. And this is where we come in properly today. Upon the back of the Windseeker. And we have Zavid. Oop, did I lock thing? No, I did not lock it. Okay. We have Zavid up at the helm. Gunnar giving you some pointers to flying out over the sea. Adelina's up in the crow's nest. Khan, you're over at the side. Reese, you're up near the front. You can be essentially wherever you want to be on the Windseeker. It's relatively early morning. We had you both, Zavid and Khan roll your, you rolled your will save last time. Both of you critically saved, so neither of you are under the effects of the planets today, which is good. And neither is Gunnar, actually. So, I believe where we came off, it was Zavid was piloting, and I wanted all of you to give me perception checks in the tower, please.
You got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably open my character sheet. That'd be a good idea. Oh, there it is. Okay. Also, where's the tower? Where'd the tower go? Okay.
It always hides, don't it?
Yeah, well, every time I update, it resets the window size.
Right,
So it's
yeah.
like...
It's a frustrating.
So I
So
learned that you can unlock the chat.
Yeah, and you can move it
Had
around
no
as well.
idea. This whole time it's been like
Yeah.
this long. So that is now.
Yep. It's helpful. It's very helpful. Okay, so as you're piloting around, Gunnar says, well, you just got to keep her straight on and follow the wind and the horizon. And, I've been wondering, since all this crazy stuff's been happening, did you have any dreams last night? I slept pretty sound. I didn't have any, but I feel like we should probably be checking in with each other each morning.
Did I have any dreams?
Out of character, unless I tell you you did, it is up to you whether or not you had a dream.
I did have a dream. It was, so my dreams are either nightmares or just weird. I barely ever have good dreams. And this one was kind of weird. I was in I think at like a school, like an academy or something. I was in sort of a classroom, and I was a student, which is weird because I've never been a student anywhere. But I was late for class, my teeth were falling out, and I had no pants. On top of everything, the floor fell out, and suddenly I was falling, and then I woke up.
Well, I hope none of that actually happens. It sounds terrible.
No, I don't think so. But everyone laughed at me in the dream, so maybe that's a positive. Maybe I'll just make some people laugh, have a good time.
Most of my dreams are pretty good. I run around in the woods, chasing some deers, have a good bite to eat, curl up and go to bed in front of a nice fire. It's usually pretty good. Not often I have bad dreams. Hey, Khan, what about you? If Zavid and I were talking, we should probably figure out if everyone's been having bad dreams.
Did your teeth fall out in your dream?
No. In my dream, I had all of my teeth. I did have a dream. Kind of. I had a dream that I was working out, and I didn't know why my body felt so heavy. But it turns out that I was sleepwalking a bit. I was in a weird fugue state. And when when I got tired of my body being so heavy, I made an excuse to my gym instructor, why I should go lay on the ground. And then I went back to sleep. And then, of course, in the morning, I figured out what happened.
Oh, that's wild, my dad used to sleepwalk quite a bit, and we found if you just take a tool belt and weigh it down with pickaxes, that usually keeps you down on the bed. It acts as a sort of ballast. Well, I had kind of a strange dream last night. I mean, it wasn't as odd as the ones I've been having, but, like as Zavid said, I was being chased by something I couldn't really see, and when I was trying to run away, I tripped over, and I couldn't actually get back up. I had to pull myself with my hands. It was very disconcerting. But every time I tried to look back, whatever it was chasing me wasn't there. I don't know. What about, Groggy Pants McGee over here, Reese. Good morning there, sleepyhead. Have any bad dreams or anything last night? We're trying to see if anything's going on or not.
Well, also, out of character, I tried moving Adelina in the one mode, and I don't know where she went on the map.
Great question.
She threw her overboard. Goodbye, sister.
There. I put her back.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna just, yeah.
You can put her wherever you like.
I want to move her to like where everybody else kind of, you know.
I want to throw her overboard again.
No.
It was so fun. I wanted to do it a second time.
I think I'll do that again. But yeah, no, Reese will just be like, oh, right. Well, I had some dreams, but it was more so just really, really weird languages that I couldn't understand for some reason, and now I can understand most languages, so I don't know if that was a bad dream per se, or what, but like, every word sounded garbled, and it was just like, not a great time. But yeah.
Wait. You went to sleep knowing the languages you normally know, had a dream that you couldn't understand language, and now waking up you understand more languages?
I still understand the same amount of languages, which is pretty much looks like almost every language to exist. So it was just really weird, reverting back to what my life was before, past couple days.
I think Zavid rolls his eyes a little bit like, oh, polyglots, and continues piloting.
Adelina comes kind of sidling up and she says, "Oh, I wouldn't mind that so much. I had a dream that I was being chased by a 50-foot woman with battle axes for tits. I'd take not understanding languages any day."
I don't know what I'd rather. That's honestly. Both of them kind of seem like a challenge.
Oh yeah, I need to roll perception checks for everyone, don't I? Not just you three. I forgot. That's my bad. Perception. Perception, and who is the third? Anyanka. It's probably going to be one of you guys, because Anyanka's perception is not super duper high. Okay. While you're all kind of here on the deck discussing your dreams and, the oddness of dreams and trying to suss out if any of it is important, because, some of even the dreams that have had important information in them have also had very superfluous information in them. So, but as you're kind of having this conversation, Khan, you see out on the port side of the ship off in the distance, there's something on the water that looks like it could be land, or something that looks like land anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it's off in the far distance.
Yeah, she'll wave over to Zavid, and be like, "Hey, well, we're not supposed to find land this soon, are we? There's something down there. An island, maybe?"
I lean the ship a little bit so I can get a better view, as we're kind of doing a little bit of an arc like that. And what do I see?
Your perception check was only one lower than Khan's. She hit the DC of 40. You had a 39. So with her essentially pointing it out and you listing the ship, you do see off in the distance something poking up above the sea line. It's difficult to see through the snow. I had forgot to mention that it is snowing, because as you're going north, it's getting colder and colder, and the snow is getting more. But you do see that there appears to be some type of land masses. And as you're getting closer to it, do you go to the water? Do you keep your distance? Do you hover? How do you approach this thing?
How is it in front of us, or are we passing? Is it to the side?
It's kind of to the northwest. You could forward and left. You could sort of just turn a little bit. You wouldn't have to go fully 90 degrees.
I'd like to go 50 feet above the water. Mm-hmm. A little higher than that. That's a little too low. About 80 feet above the water. And I want to kind of approach within 100 feet distance-wise to get a better look at this thing. So 80 feet up, 100 feet out from the thing.
Okay, great.
That way, if we need to like break off and get the hell away from this, we can. Or if we want to like turn and descend onto the water to like, figure out what's going on, we can do that too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, getting closer and hovering about 100 to 80 feet above this thing, I can share this now. You can see that it is kind of patchy islands. However, they're not made of land. Each of them is made of garbage, refuse and trash and wood and furniture and broken boats and paper and food, but all of them are connected by strange rope bridges and handrail bridges and cobbled ladders that are thrown from one section to another. It seems very ramshackle, but this is all you see floating in the middle of the steaming sea. Is this great garbage patch.
Ew. Yeah, that's not land. That's garbage.
Gross.
There's definitely somebody or something living here. They've attached a bunch of bridges to connect these floating patches. I think I even see a tiny little hut.
Maybe they need to be rescued.
I'm not getting off the ship. If you want to ride down there on your mount and check it out, go ahead. But if I'll start to like slow the ship down, and descend a little bit more, like maybe at this point like 40 feet above the water. Still about 100 feet out, but like get closer to the water. And I'll say like if you need help, I'll turn the ship and we can go and help you. But if not, you just come right back and we can keep moving.
Okay, who's all gonna go check this thing out? So I know which mounts to throw down.
Reese will.
Reese, so I need the mole and the owl.
Mm-hmm.
Great, mole, owl.
Yeah, Con finds some kind of clip to put over her nose so she doesn't smell the garbage so much.
That will be good.
As you guys leave, I'm like, finally, I've ditched them, and I just like, no. I would get maybe 20 feet, and Gunnar would be like, "Hey, you forgot our friends," and put his like hand on my shoulder and be like, "Ah, it was a joke."
It was a joke. Don't worry.
Okay, so Con will put you here with your mole mount. You're on the very western side, on the far left.
I see.
There, Con.
I see.
Okay. Then there's Reese with your owl mount. All right, you should be able to move around there as much as you want. So yeah, as you get closer, it is quite smelly, but it's shockingly not overpowering. It is not as horrible as you would expect a floating literal garbage patch to smell. You've been to cities. It smelled far worse walking down the main street of some large capital cities than it does floating or flying just above this. But as you're looking, you can see that part of it is made of some like cloths and papers. Some there to the south are made exclusively of metal scrap and like gears and broken cogs. The biggest patch in the center is mostly wood, broken furniture, things of that nature. Each patch seems to be somewhat separated a little bit, but this is what you see is pretty much what you see in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, and give me one more perception check in the tower, the two of you.
Oh, gotcha.
One more.
One more.
Just one more.
One more.
Just one more.
As you have gotten closer, Reese, you've noticed that a lot of these pieces of trash, and especially on the bridges where they connect, there's strange purple goo that seems to be everywhere. But you would need to get closer to get anything more than that, anything other than you see a lot of it.
I think Reese is gonna probably just like lie down alongside and try to see what the hell it is. It's
Okay.
kind of like float above.
Alrighty, I'm gonna need a nature check from you.
Okay.
Tower, please. Either of you. Now that you're both there, if you want, someone can aid the other. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I can help Reese.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Con throw in nature publicly, so we can see, and we'll see what rank you're at.
Oh, that was almost a nat
That was
20.
almost a nat 20. Okay. So you are trained, so that is a crit, so I will add a 2 to what you just rolled there, Reese.
Sweet.
Sweet.
You can tell that this is an organic substance of some kind. It is rock hard if you tap it. It doesn't have a smell. It seems to be as like very like Reese doesn't know what plastic is, but it looks almost like plastic. It's like very thick, hard. It goes if you tap on it. Yeah.
Interesting. Weird. Do I see anything else like that pops out as I'm kind of like hovering above? Now that I'm closer to.
You can see that some of these cogs, they're aligned in piles, and there seem to be voids in them, like strange little holes.
Reese is just gonna like take some
Maybe
random.
this big.
What?
Maybe about this big.
Okay. Reese is gonna just like grab some random shit that's in his pocket and throw it into the void to see what happens.
Well, you take a piece of hardtack or something, little
Yeah.
chunk of thing, and it falls in, and it tink, 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 and you can hear it fall and kind of rattle around, and giving the impression that this is less of a hole and more of like a tunnel. You can hear it kind of, you know, if you throw something down a spinny slide, sort of like that, where you can hear it moving a bunch.
Yeah.
Seems to be quite large voids within this pile of cogs.
So I think Reese is gonna fly over to where Han is and just goes, I think this is more than what it seems. There seems to be like a tunnel system here. But in these black voids. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not sure what is here, but I think it's more complex than we give it. I don't think it's just trash. Oops, sorry.
Oh, well, someone has to be here. Someone who's sorted all this out. I don't think the ocean would, put bridges here and
No, absolutely
organize
not.
things.
Khan invents the argument for intelligent design.
This is actually super
there must
cool.
Be a watchmaker.
If you put this in free camera 3D mode, this looks really neat.
Ooh.
But yes, as Reese points out, the tunnels are quite little. But if you really squeezed, or if you had some kind of way to become smaller, Khan, you could
Like a rat?
like if you could become a rat, you could potentially go in them if you chose to. That is.
I do. Khan
Okay.
is going to rat Max. She's just like a little cloud of smoke, and then she's just a rat, and she'll go investigate these tunnels.
Okay. Are you being stealthy, or are you just kind of rummaging through quickly?
I'll go stealthy.
Cool.
Stealthy.
Throw me a stealth check. Just public is fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're running around this tunnel system, and it seems pretty complex. It goes up, down, all around. This pile of trash seems to go deeper under the water than you would have imagined. Much like an iceberg, there's more under the surface. It's actually kind of starting to give you the idea that it's similar to like a beaver dam, where there's a network of tunnels up inside of here, because it's mostly dry. Whereas you would imagine if there was a large pile of trash just floating in the ocean, everything should be soaked and gross, which is probably why it's not so stinky. It's because everything in here is dry.
Okay.
But eventually, you do come into a larger void, and in front of you is sitting very quietly and very startled a large salamander creature with huge green eyes, wearing a green vest, and he has two metal legs with flippers at the bottom. And he looks at you,
he says,
Can Reese understand what that is?
Give me a perception check in the tower to see if you can even hear that, because
Yeah,
it's pretty
I
deep
imagine
in.
Reese
You
is
probably
kind of
can't
like
hear it.
Reese is like kind of lying over the tunnel, trying to like listen in.
No, you can't hear it. As soon as the scratching of Khan got out of earshot, you couldn't hear it anymore. So no, you can't hear any of this. Khan, that's what you see though, and you can't really understand what it's saying to you.
Hmm.
But it doesn't look
Uh,
frightened. It sees you and it looks confused because you're a little mouse. Mice
Yeah.
aren't the most threatening thing in the world.
No, they are not. I have 2.
So how tall is this friend in front of me?
2
Like
feet
regular
tops.
Okay, 2 feet. So
Yeah,
not like
they're
a
large.
regular salamander. This
Correct. Yeah, this is
this
like
is
a
a
big
little
creature.
guy.
A little guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are even littler, so
I'm-
does he look
yeah.
hungry? Does he like blah?
Good question.
Just like try to eat little Ratcon?
How big is this kind of alcove that is at the core of the garbage iceberg?
Maybe a normal beach ball.
Okay, a normal beach ball. So if
Ish.
Khan went back to her regular form, she would occupy the entire space.
It'd be real tight, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think she's just gonna like squeak 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 me squeak 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 and just pointing at the tunnel.
Okay, give me a nature check publicly, because that's what this would be.
Yeah.
An animal trying to communicate with a different animal. Ooh, that was really good. 36. Yeah, so it looks a little confused, but it kind of gets up from its seated position. And do you run back up the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay, it slowly follows you. And Reese, a few minutes after Conrad goes down into the little hole, she squeak squeak comes back out, and a moment later, almost like in the movie It, you see 2 eyes poke up above with this little void. And you hear it, and roll me a society check now, publicly.
Of course.
Because, yeah, I realize that feat of yours still requires a society check. That's pretty good. Okay. So, it pops its head up, and it takes you a moment, but at first it says, "Blorblabee, blorblabee."
Oh no, it's my
Bleep,
dream
bleep,
all
bleep.
over again.
And yeah, at first you can't understand it, and it's funny that you actually guessed part of this one for your dream. That was complete coincidence. But yeah, after a minute of kind of listening to what it's saying and trying to looking at hand motions, body language, things of that nature, it sort of starts to come out, and you hear it kind of speak to you, and it says, "Hablalobal. My libel name is Biffle Biffle. Wobble is yorbals."
And you just start hearing Reese sound like he's and he is pretty much just going, "My name's Reese. We've just found this place. Where are we?"
The little great salvage mander floatable tilla.
The
And if you didn't understand that,
No.
I will change the title of this to The Salvage Manders Flotilla.
Okay, thank you, because I have audio processing issues above the table, so I was
Well,
very confused.
Then I'll slowly transition to easier to understand common, and that will represent the in-game passage of time of Reese learning their language.
Yes, of course. Oh,
Yeah.
what do you do here?
Oh, and I need to make him visible. My bad. Where is Biff Biff? There's Biff Biff. So, Biff Biff, I have made him visible. He's just right there next to you guys. And he says to you,
We float with the ocean voids, with the ocean currents. The flotilla goes where the great firemander tells. You are from the sky?
Sky, other parts of land, where
The great upper blue. Well, I must tell Bobble Shaman, yup yup.
And he, Biff, once he realizes that you said you were from the sky, seeing your creatures there, takes off like a shot and runs on top of this rope bridge here, seemingly without even barely needing to touch it, dives into one of these holes and seemingly out of sight. So, for the moment, you and Khan are alone, seemingly.
So we're on.
And Khan, you understood nothing of that.
Yeah. So we're on a repurposed island, it seems, and these little salamander guys are very friendly and asked where we were from and asked if we were from the sky, and I'm like, well, yeah. And the earth, the surface around, I don't know if they're gonna think we're gods or something, so I apologize for whatever happens.
Okay, we don't need to disguise ourselves as gods again. You know, that was fun.
That was
like
a
once.
great time, but yeah.
A few minutes later, you do start to hear some commotion around you, rustling in the garbage, as you're starting to see little heads start to pop up here and there around. And I'm just going to try and move them over to kind of the edge here, and you start to see more of these little guys coming up to what I'm referring to as the center island. And one of them is, where did all my pictures go? There's one. One of them is blue-skinned and has a tool belt around his waist, and has several different. He seems to be a handy salvage mender of some kind. But there's an older lad, coming from the north, who is all black and white. And where is that one? Yeah, he's very difficult to see because he was up with the papers and the linen cloths at the north, so he has kind of a natural camouflage against this background. And I think there are two more. There's the last. There's one. Sorry, this map is huge and these guys purposefully blend in with it. So this one is another little guy who has a witch's hat and a cape, who is holding a potion. And then lastly, one who seems to be the most distinguished has a lantern, a glass and metal lantern on the end of a stick, and a big pouch around their shoulder, and they wear a long robe. And they have a reddish hue to them. And it is this one that walks up first to the bridge that is just across from you. And it raises its hands, and Khan, you just hear blah 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 blah. But Reese, you hear, let me see, where did I put it? I have it written down here. That is not it. There it is. What a wonderful day! Yup Yup's dreamy dreams and prairie prayers have come true. Long has Yup Yup said this day would come. Salvage Mender salvation is at hand. The great Firemander sent Yup Yup visions of shiny gods flying down from the sky ocean. Salvage Manders cannot fight wicked beastie beasts that eat Salvage Manders. Horned devils chase flotilla, making Salvage Manders paddle for safety. Controlling the flotilla is against the teachings of the teachings of the great Firemander. Yup Yup's staff was blessed this dawn. As first lighty light shined through lantern, the great Firemander's symbol shined brighty bright on the flotilla. I should have thrown that onto the chat earlier, but there is what he has said. Reese, you understood all of that. Khan, it was just blah 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 nonsense.
She's nodding her head along like she understands.
You've seen Zavid give enough sermons to recognize a holy man preaching when you see one, but his actual words are meaningless.
He just goes back again. All you hear is from Reese. and he tells them, "Greetings, it is an honor to meet you. How may we assist?"
And it looks back to all of the other creatures and says, "It knows our language! Praise the Firemander!" And all of them agree, "Praise the Firemander!" As all of them begin to cautiously walk across this bridge towards you. That's 4. And where's my 5th little... There he is. There's the 5th little guy.
Bunch of little guys.
Aren't they fun? But as they approach you, they all introduce themselves. The black and white one introduces himself as Fufu. The one with the metal legs, oh jeez, I already forgot his name. They're very difficult to remember because
Biff Biff.
Biff Biff, that's it. Yes, Biff Biff. And then Puck Puck is the one with the witch's hat. And I believe but as I said, the most important one, clearly the leader, is the Bobble Shaman Yup Yup.
He asks, "Do you speak a common tongue? My friend over here cannot understand a single thing we are saying."
Oh, one moment. And he reaches into his bag and rifles through, and you can hear clink, 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 clink of metal bottles. And he says, not metal bottles, just stuff in a purse, essentially, just rifling through bunches of crap, and pulls out what appears to be like a loop of hair tied with some twine. And he says, "Can cast comprehend language?" And he holds it up to Khan and says, "Speak your tongues."
She'll
But you can translate.
Reese is just like, "Just speak into it. I'm fixing this language barrier."
Yeah, you got it. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, so you kind of talk into this hair, and as you do, it begins to vibrate and glow, and it incinerates in your hand, and suddenly all of the outlanders come from the great sky. Where do they come from? Well, they came from the great sky. Oh, where are they coming from? Such a strange creature. And it slowly comes in. You understand. It sounds more like common in your brain. So yes, now there's no more language barrier for you, Khan. And Reese, you're able to explain to Khan, or we could even say that you did that just a moment before it said its whole spiel. Either way, that is the dream that their leader told you about that it had this morning. And Reese, it's a repeating dream, recurring dream.
Okay. Oh, wait, and Reese takes out a pamphlet and hands it over to the Salamander.
Oh, informations. These will be very good for adding.
And he hands it over to Fufu, and Fufu says,
"Oh yes, well, I can add this to the island."
And he goes, and spits up a blob of purple goo and sticks it to the back of the pamphlet and splits it down onto the flotilla, and it appears to solidify there like a fossil. It does not appear they necessarily know how to read.
Okay, so Reese essentially explains the conjunction and points to the pictures as he's telling them about how it all will work then. Because, Zavid has made very pretty pictures.
Okay, so you're explaining it with, like, the planets and everything?
Yes.
Okay. As you're doing this, you're kind of talking to all of them?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you're explaining this, Puck, this one, the one with the witch's hat and the cloak and the big potion, is listening very intently. And eventually, Puck speaks up and says,
Puck have dreams about The sky dots. Not these sky dots. More the thrush. Grotus. Well, Puck had nice dreamy dreams. All salvage manders were free and safety safe to roam all seas.
And I'm going to throw this in chat, sorry.
Okay.
So you can read along. Sorry. There you go.
No more predator attacks. So much more land scrap in the water. Made the flotilla grow large and strong. After Grotus ate the thrush, much more tasty tastes to find among the flotsam and jetsam. Felt like salvage manders could float and feast forever. And when Pock woke, new colorful frozen fish was on Pock's plate. Not know what kind or where come from, but tasty taste.
Turns over to Con, she's like,
It's almost like you need someone who is proficient in astronomy lore to know what that means. But you left him back on the ship.
he left himself
That's
back on the
true.
ship.
I'm back at
Excuse
the
That's not our
ship
fault.
talking to like Anyanka about the artist I commissioned for the pamphlets, and I'm like, I told them to make Cabreri cuter. It's so important to get him to look really chibi, bubbly, like, otherwise no one's going to take this. Like, Sarenrae's easy. She's already supposed to be beautiful. How do you make a ghoul look cute, right? That's the challenge. Let me cut back to you guys.
Yeah.
yes.
You can roll a history or arcana.
Yeah,
but,
I'll
but
see.
the DC's going to be really high.
Yeah.
Arcana or history. Let me see my.
Or I guess religion.
Yeah, let's do religion.
DC 40 arcana or religion.
Oh god, I have
Money,
to like
no
get
whammies.
a nat,
It was a nat 1 there, Con. That was hilarious.
and that was not even close. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
not enough.
So I think then if that's the case, if me and Connor just looking at each other like, we bring them up to the ship.
I think we should.
So Reese just goes, come along with us on our sky mounts. We have a great man thing. We have a great wisdom who can help explain what those dots mean.
Oh, the great blue above. Oh, the great sky prophet. Yes, we will go to the sky.
And any or all of these 5 salvage manders can climb up on your mounts.
Oh,
They're like 2 feet tall. They weigh negligible amounts for your mounts.
All right, let's go. Let's go back up to the ship.
Great.
I like how you're just like, yeah, we know someone who can help explain this to you, but to them, you're like this godlike being that brings your hand down, like, come with us to our realm, and they're like, yes.
That's literally exactly it. So Reese, let me just share these with you again. There, Reese, I dropped you on there. Con, you're here. I'll put your mounts here for later. There you go. So it's going to be kind of a pain to drop the images of the actual salvage manders on there, so we can kind of theater the mind that they're just there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you need reminders of which one is which, I will gladly reload any of their images. I've got them up.
Great. So as they fly in, Reese just says, incoming, we have salamander friends with weird garbled language. We need your assistance.
I curse and I pay Gunnar a bunch of money because I was betting that we were going to find food, and he was like, no, we'll find friends, and it was friends. I'm like, damn it, I lost the bet.
Never bet against friends. Let this be a lesson to you.
And I walk over, I put it on autopilot. Basically, I turn, well, I guess I could just have it float. So I basically park the ship midair. Or would it be, is it easier? This is a technical question. It doesn't matter, but I guess I'm curious. Would landing the ship on the water and weighing anchor save us resources like magic fuel or whatever we're doing to power the ship? Or would it be better to just idle it where it's at?
6 of one, half dozen of the other, as far as I'm concerned.
Cool.
Yeah.
I idle it where it's at, and I'll walk over.
And Anyanka has
So-
comprehend language thing.
She does, yes. She can cast that as a spell.
Yeah, and Reese just goes, Anyanka, we're gonna need some help here.
Look at these little guys. Oh, yeah, of course. That's a funny little language. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see what I can do.
And she will cast Comprehend Language on essentially everyone. I'm sure there's a way to cast that at a higher level. Let's see.
I bet Anyanka would be able to learn this language really well because the bubbling sound she could just, instead of using her mouth, she could just use her ooze like to like make that bubble sound.
Exactly. And yeah, her Comprehend Language 4th level up to 10 creatures. So Reese, she's not going to cast it on you because you're the only one that doesn't need it. Oh, and Khan doesn't need it either because Yup cast it on you.
Welcome to the Bridge of the Windseeker. What can we do for you?
And they're all looking around stunned at the size of this ship, like knocking on the wood, touching it, feeling everything. One of them finally, Puck finally looks up to you and says, where is the adhesive? Where is the resin? And they keep feeling around for, and one of them brushes their finger across a nail, and they're all, they're very easily distracted by everything on the construction of this ship.
I look to you two and I'm like, what is their deal? Do we need to slow down, explain to them what this is? Have they been living their whole life on that like flotsam?
Yeah, they essentially have a bunch of like trash that is compiled together and like a floating island, and they just take trash in and keep adding it, I think. And he explains like the void and everything as well.
I immediately start to like get it because I was in an isolated community, cut off from everything for many years, and I understand the coming to a new world and seeing all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, they know what the sun is, but they don't know what this is, right?
They don't know what a ship is, no.
Right. So I come back and I say, friends, to get their attention. Sorry to frighten you, but there are many, many new sights and sounds and smells and tastes that you will experience. But before we can get you to this, I need to know more about you. I need to know more about your lives, and I need to know more about your culture. Please, explain to us.
We're gonna have Reese also within the text of telling him things, what the cute little potion salamander did. So he has all of the information.
Oh, with his dreams and everything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Yes, you have all the information they have that's up in the chat there.
Awesome. So as they're explaining this stuff, I'm like, all right, I could work this sort of divine angle. But I'm like, I don't need to go too far with that. I'll just say, look, the world is much bigger than your island. The world is far, far bigger than any one group can lay claim to. There's plenty of ocean for you to settle, but right now the oceans are dangerous. And then I put the pictures and I go through each of like the breath of the cradle. I think I must have at this point like an orrery or something that I can show them, and like this is the alignment of the stars, which I'm sure you guys know because you don't have anything else to look at except the sky as you're out here.
Skylights.
They are getting, every time one of them gets in line with us, a new thing happens, and then I go through each of the effects. And I'm like, these are the ones that are in effect now. Breath of the Cradle is making predators go crazy out here. Breath of the Cradle and Abalon the horse. Animals and the ocean are much more dangerous.
When you say that, Bobble Shaman Yup speaks up and says,
Yes, much more horned devils lately. So many more. Yeah, the horned devils.
and they all kind of cower as he says that.
Horned devil. Can I make a check for that? Like, what do I think that is?
What do they look like?
Like big sack of air, almost one long horn through head, swim through the deep, splash water onto our flotilla, knock us off into the water.
Oh my God.
Horned devils.
He's talking about narwhals, isn't he?
He's talking about narwhals. Since you got it, I won't make you roll. Yeah.
Thank you.
was
Well,
thinking,
you're
like-
also from this region, sort of. Like, you kind of know the...
Yeah, that I would know what a narwhal is from
Yep.
my childhood.
Somewhere in your
Yeah,
in the
I
back
think-
of your childhood brain.
Yeah. Oh,
I think-
the narwhals. Yes.
I'd say Zavid and Khan probably don't know what that is.
No, and in fact, as you describe a narwhal to me, I'm like, that doesn't exist. Like, come on. Like, that's
could
ridiculous.
show you
Like
where
a
they
unicorn, but
exist.
like a fish? Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yes.
Well, they don't know what a unicorn is, but yeah, they describe it as
Yeah.
like a unicorn, but a fish. But it's like a
Oh, wait a minute.
sausage.
Do I know what a unicorn is?
Zavid knows. Yeah, Danny has summoned
Okay.
them into combat before.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you absolutely have seen them.
You believe in unicorns, but you don't believe in. Okay. Fine. Fine.
I
This
just
is the
think,
weirdo here
why does
again.
everything get one horn? Why is that the thing? Right?
It's a tooth. It's a tooth that juts
So
up.
one tooth just grows straight out? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
how it goes.
Listen, you've lied to me and tricked me before. I'm not going to fall for it this time.
Okay, so whatever you say.
But I'll play along because they say that it's real. So I guess I'll pretend for the sake of this interaction. And as you can tell, Zavid is kind of like, just, you don't even need to make a perception. He, like, the fact that you are like just being like, no, that's just what it is. He's realizing he's wrong. He thought you were trying to trick him, and now he knows that you're not, but he's doubling down because he's embarrassed. So he's like, yeah, okay, sure. But I think you can see he's like, they're probably real, actually. He's
Yeah.
starting to come around. He tells
He's
him,
just said weirder things.
yeah, you have. And like, he's just at this point trying to like keep up appearances of like he knows what he's talking about in front of these things. So he goes, the world is becoming much more dangerous, but these are not the real danger.
More dangerous than the horned devils. What could possibly? Ah!
They seem just truly terrified at the prospect of something more dangerous than narwhals.
Something bigger and more frightening than anything we can even imagine. It has a name, but I don't even know what it looks like. That is how dangerous it is. I dare not speak its actual name because it is so dangerous, but it has a title. They call it the Rough Beast.
And you can hear them kind of rumbling.
It is a creature so powerful even gods could not kill it. They could only imprison it. And they imprison it inside our very world. And when all of these stars come into alignment, all these planets in our system all line up, there are evil people out there that want to bring the Rough Beast out to wreak destruction over everything and eat our world. Just like, and I pull out like a deviled egg, just like this.
Ah! But what about the great Firemander? It will surely protect us. Ah.
Now, what do I know the Firemander?
This you can roll a religion check on.
Okay.
The Great Firemander is what he keeps
It's
talking about.
Saradray, I bet. Tell me
No,
it's Saradray.
I'll tell you it's not Saradray this time.
Okay.
It's
Religion.
just gonna be like.
Where did I put it?
Great Firemander.
I have so many things written down. There it is. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, there we go. So you rolled that, and I assume you would have used
Guidance.
guidance. Yep. And does anyone want to aid him with any any of the knowledge skills?
I used religion, so whatever I.
Oh, I see you did.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's a crit for Reese. So that's Zavid. You get the feeling that they might be worshiping a salamander, and I mean like the monster, a salamander, or potentially something larger. Because you can see that he's got a holy yup has a holy symbol on. He's got a lot of stuff on him, just like pins and things stuck to his clothes and just baubles, here and there. And you're looking at him and you realize that he's covered in little magic. They're little magic items. They're consumable. What's the word? Not tokens. It's little. They're like potions that you can use to help you with like combat and stuff. There's a specific dedication that I'm just blanking on. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He has a holy symbol on that he's wearing that. Let's see. Okay, that looks like this. And he says that this is the symbol of the Great Firemander, the holy symbol of the Great Firemander.
Interesting. Do I recognize the symbol from my reading and studies?
It's not specifically by name, but this has all the trappings of a demon lord.
Okay.
Oh.
Can Reese make an occult
It's not Sarah,
check?
right? Sure, I'd be happy for you to make an occultism check. Throw in the tower, if you haven't already. Oh, that was a good time for that. That was a really good time for that.
All right.
Release.
That'll work.
Reese, once Zavid points out that that symbol to you, you remember it back to your childhood in Shimonsek with Balagmakar, your adopted father, telling you crazy tales of the land of fire. He was very keen on stories, these wild tales from the land of fire. Now that you know he is actually an Ifrit, these were probably not tall tales.
No.
They were probably mostly true. But one he was very particularly keen on talking about was a particularly evil demon lord called Flauros, the Burning Maw, who is a serpent-like lava demon, essentially, who wields a flaming spear. Who generally, salamanders, the subterranean monsters, tend to worship this demon, and he's very much like a lawful evil demon lord.
Oh, he's cool.
Lawful evil.
I love that.
So between the two of you, you're able to put together that these little guys are unknowingly worshiping a very powerful, very evil, but lawful demon lord named Flauros, the Burning Maw.
Can I ask out of game?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just going to ask. My understanding of demons is that they are beings of chaotic evil, and like devils are beings of lawful evil.
I'm sorry, devils. I'm sorry if I said
it's
demon.
a devil. Okay.
My mistake. I always do that.
Okay.
Yes. Devil,
That's what
devil,
I was
devil.
like. That seems like an oxymoron. So I'm like, there must be. Maybe I'm mishearing you, or yeah.
I misspoke.
All right.
Devil, not demon. I have Buffy brain where everything is a demon. That show literally ruined my brain. Everything is a demon on that show. It liquefied my brain. It is a devil. Yes, like an archdevil.
Okay. Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing then.
No.
I mean, it's kind of bad, but it's not like it's not the worst.
You like
We can-
agree. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. What were you gonna say, Elliot? Sorry about that.
Well, when I was just gonna say I love that for them. But I love that for them. But Reese just goes, yes, the big fire salamander. Yes, fantastic stories I have been told my childhood of him.
Oh, yeah, it is the great savior. Surely it will protect us all and the flotilla and all of the oceans. Its warmth is what keeps the currents going. Without the currents...
And one of them speaks up at this point. Fufu, the elder one, the black and white, this little guy, begins to speak up and says,
Sounds like Fufu dreams. Dark bad have been Fufu's dreams.
oh, right, and I need to give this to you. My bad. I always forget that. Click. Paste. There you go.
Fufu and best friend Pock Pock stuck alone. Everywhere ice, all directions. So cold the thinky thinks not work. Such hungry pains. Fufu and Pock Pock trapped because ocean's currents stop flotilla from roaming freely. Currents weaken as great Firemander weakens. Firemander's flame being stolen by the red darkness. Fufu has seen her hands steal fire. Long burn hairs, but shiny beautiful eyes. Always the shiny burn eyes shake awake Fufu. Always Fufu's bedroom much more coldy cold, but fast goes back to normal.
Shiny, burning hair and eyes. Is this Sarenrae?
Nope.
Everything's Serenade. This game has melted my brain, and I just think
true.
everything's Serenade.
Good guess though, but no.
All right, let me make. May I make a check for
Yes,
that?
another religion check,
I'll go and
please.
help Paige.
Sure. Okay. Okay. This doesn't sound like a god. It sounds like something less trying to steal power from this great firemander.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something less, huh? And
That
it's
wasn't a
probably
great
another.
roll, but it's
I'm gonna guess
feels less.
that it's probably another devil because they would have to have access to this devil and want to raise up in the ranks. That would be my guess. It doesn't sound like the one that we released, right? That was a very uniquely different.
No, that was uniquely different. I'm gonna give Reese only the chance to roll just straight wisdom, because it's been in real time a very long time, but something relevant. Reese might remember.
I'm gonna use a hero point.
Yeah, okay, that was bad. Nat, two for a 4. Oh, that was so much better. That was so much better.
Yeah.
You're hearing these descriptions of the great firemander's flame being stolen by the red darkness, as Fufu's calling it. And you remember back to when you were in the deserts of Osirian, on the back of the great Monhatnus, the turtle. The first night you spent there, when you and Khan were tripping balls on Pesh wine, when Zavid did not partake. You, Reese, had a hallucination of your father, Balagmachar. He's the one who told you to go north to the Saga Lands, where you're headed right now. And he told you specifically it was because the heat was being stolen away from the lands. The hot springs were cooling off. Geysers were stopped ceasing to work. Things like the heat was being drained out of the area. And this sounds like a very similar thing.
He just like turns to like Zavid and kind of just goes, "My dad told me about this happening. I was tripping balls, granted, but you know, that was a night I saw many wisdoms, and they're not just saying this is actually happening. They're weird little guys, but they're actually like telling truth. That's actually happening."
You know, as a fellow weird little guy, sometimes we are very aligned with what's happening in our world. We just don't know how to describe it. And I think that's their troubles. They don't have the words. Even with us understanding their language, they don't know what else to say or call what they've experienced. But if you know about this, then I think I need to confer with you what this is, because what is exactly they're talking about that is hurting their lord here.
Yes.
Did your father tell you?
Well, he said something is like things are being stolen from. That's all I really kind of get is the hot is going cold, the cold is going hot. There's an exchange going.
No, it's just
it's just
things are just getting
cold.
hot, going cold. Yeah, it's
Pretend
not
you didn't say that.
Yeah.
The hot is going cold. So there has to be some form of. Is there like a demon or ice lord or some god or something that is keen on freezing things over? David?
I don't know if Savid knows this, but I do know someone who probably does. Someone who knows about both, because I know about gods, and I know a bit about devils because of our exposure to them. I don't know much about demons, and I don't want to rule that out. But I do know someone who knows a lot about demons. I'm going to use Mork's Condescending and call Elkana, or Liliana rather, right?
Yes, Liliana, there she is. So you use your Mork's Condescending with Holophone, as we have determined you have.
And before
This is the whole reason I wanted to keep her around. Like, we need someone who understands demonology, who's not our enemy. Like,
Exactly.
someone who was our enemy that can help get us an eye into our enemies here.
You sunk 10 levels into making her your ally. It's
Worth
starting to
it.
pay off. This is where it's going to start paying off. So you ring. Hello. Yes, V. Oh, what is it, V?
Lilian the Thriceborn, I have a question that requires your unique experience and expertise in this field.
Oh, of
And then
course.
I download all information, everything we know, everything they've told us, with probably Khan and Elliot, or Reese rather, jumping in to like fill in anything I failed to like mention, so that she has all the information. Be like, what we need to know is what this thing sapping the energy away, trying to take away the sort of like salamander devil lord's power. What is this thing? And does it match the description of any demon or devil lords that you are familiar with?
Let's see, where is... Okay. There it is.
Also, I show the symbol of
Sure.
the Great Fireman, just so they have context for that devil lord as well.
Right. And firstly, with the Firemander, she says,
Oh, yes. Floros, quite a formidable creature, fights with a flaming spear. Very wicked, but can be trusted if you can gain his trust.
I look over to like, what are you guys? I'm like, write that down. Floros.
But as far as one that could steal flame and heat from multiple realms, and a creature such as Floros would need to be one that is strong, but not one that is so strong where this power would not be helpful. And you say that the locus is in the north? Well, there is a celestial gateway in the north, is there not? I do believe Khan's familiar has spoken of it.
So something from this gateway made its way out, or something from here has tried to make its way in?
It sounds as though something is making use of the gateway to pull this heat through. To another plane, perhaps.
And we think that it's not
do you have-
Floros, but something else, something lesser, trying to sap his
Yes.
strength.
Do you know of any enemies who would require vast amounts of heat?
and now I want all of you to roll me a wisdom check publicly.
I mean, we have an ally that does, but didn't we? We have a dragon who wants to incubate their steam dragon egg.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Reese got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think our dragons would be
it's
harming
not that.
others for that. Yeah.
Nope, it's not that. Sippergrod and all of them are good on that, but Reese, this actually checks out because it was your weapon that you broke in the Scribbler's Den that released the devil. You remember, I believe her name was, what was it, Thazadorix? Yes,
Yeah.
I can't believe I just remembered that. Let me pull her up just because she's amazing looking.
So wait a second.
Thazadorix. So you remember the conversation you had with Thazadorix inside the Scribbler's Den. She was telling you that the weapon she had been imprisoned in was crafted at the Soul Forge. Or I'm sorry, the Rune Forge. The Rune Forge. Which was an ancient forge in between worlds where you could craft godlike runes, which are out of game +3 runes and major striking runes. In my particular game of Galarian, they can only be forged at the Rune Forge. That is not canon to anywhere else. But you're remembering that she talked about the Rune Forge, and that's all you remember. Specifically, Reese, you would have to say something to get more.
So Reese just kind of like goes through like, okay, so remember the really hot demon mommy that I released from the Scribblers? Devil mommy that I released from the Scribblers thing that we made an alliance with?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she talked about a forge, a heat forge, right? And that's where some of the powers were coming from some of things that were made? including the weapon she was in, I believe. Is there something we could go on with that?
I think it is possible that someone is using the forge, and maybe the use of such a thing is drawing heat out from our world. Or maybe in order to even operate it, you need vast amounts of heat
Yes.
as an individual.
The Runeforge would require vast amounts of heat. This could explain the necessity of such, but the only entity capable of operating the Runeforge would be a Rune Lord, and as far as I'm aware, they were destroyed.
We do a whole side quest. It's just Rise of the Blue.
Just a quick, cute little side quest.
Full different campaign while this is all happening in the background. Well, that is a problem then, because either there's a couple things that have happened, and someone has figured out the way to operate the Rune Forge as the Rune Lords once did, or a way to circumvent their own limitations with not being a Rune Lord, essentially operating it like someone in the sense of there might be an intended way for the forge to operate that doesn't draw heat out from our world. And a Rune Lord would probably understand how to make that work, but for someone who's not a Rune Lord, maybe they understood what is required to make the thing work, but without the natural abilities of the Rune Lord, they are siphoning the heat of our world to compensate. I think that's probably the most likely option. Because we would have heard of something about these Rune Lords coming back, right? And that why would... So. And if they've returned to the forge in between planes that is like, you know, Hell has access to, why would the Hells not know about what's going on? They would want to, I don't know, if I was the leader of Hell, I would want to enslave any Rune Lords that they're still alive and make them make shit for me, personally. So if Asmodeus and none of the other devils have ever said anything to us, or there's no indication that they're back, then somebody has figured out a way to make the forge work without a Rune Lord being present. And I think that's what we need to address. We'd have to go there and see for ourselves.
Well, it seems like something we should definitely look into, because if my father brought it up, this is important, unfortunately.
I kind of turn back to Liliana and I say, I am sorry to ask you something else that might be drawing you away from your current duties, but
anything.
What? I imagine not any mortal creature could orchestrate the siphoning of a plane's heat, or the heat of an entire localized region. What kind of beings, even lesser than this Firemander, Floros, what kind of beings would be able to start this process that you're aware of?
Well, it could either be something large and powerful, or perhaps even many weak things all at once. Some vast cosmic entity, or a cult, or both.
Can I make a check with my feet to see if I would know whether or not what's more likely, like occultism check to like...
Sure. Go ahead and give me, let's say, occultism in the tower. You have no idea what would be more likely. She makes a really good point that it's just as likely as not to be one big creature that's power hungry or a whole bunch of little things trying to make something else. But you get the feeling that whatever they're doing is they're trying to make something.
Can I guess I'll let Liliana go, and thank her for her time.
Of course.
And then I wanna talk to Pipette.
Yes.
Oh, yes, of course, David. Good morning. Oh, these are fun little creatures. Ha 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 ha.
And she's kind of playing with Fufu, but yes, Pipette comes up and says,
Yes, what can I do for you, David?
Do you like cheese?
Of course.
I take out some of the best cheese that I have that I've been saving for me, and I'm like, it's the Welsh never give away secrets for.
Oh
"Oh
no.
no,
Oh no!
was that him? It's not me."
Nope, that's not
That's
you.
a- Oh, you
What?
froze for a bit.
Oh, you
Oh, wait,
froze for
try-
a bit. Can
try
you just,
again,
yeah,
try
you
again.
seem to be back now.
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay.
Seem
It
to
says
be.
your
Okay.
internet connection is unstable. Thank you, Zoom. I said it is the edict. To my understanding, it is the edict of La Chapelle to never give up a secret for free. And I present this as an offering to Pipette because I say, I think we need some of your secrets now.
And she looks at you and says,
Ah, I appreciate your tithe.
And I wipe away a tear as she eats the cheese that I really, really, really wanted to eat myself.
and not only
And
did
I
she
looked
eat
at
it, she
Khan.
devoured it. She clearly didn't
Oh
taste
yeah, I
very
looked at
much of
God
it.
and I'm like, ask your patron about whether or not they could. I mean, because it's my understanding Pipette knows about this arcane gate and wants to like use it to access the hells, right?
Mhm.
Can they poof? I mean, this is like an incarnation of the god. Can the god check for us, essentially? Or use their network of spies and rats and whatever else to like get eyes over there to see, is it a big entity, is it a cult, is it both that we are dealing with?
Pipette, it is of the utmost importance that it's of the utmost importance that we understand what sort of a thing we are dealing with, what sort of thing is able to siphon all of this energy. Would you mind perhaps finding out for us, seeing as you're the one most in tune with the pathway to all the different worlds?
Yes, of course. My home connects to the celestial hallway. I will need to be able to get access to wherever this rune forge is. I do believe I can. I believe I can get this done. Yes, I will. I will return as quickly as I can.
And Pipette, with a flash, disappears. And yeah, I think this is a great place for us to take intermission. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, fantabulous. Hope everyone will join us in about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see what more we can piece together in this strange puzzle with these little guys, the salvage menders. See you then. Bye.
back.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back from our intermission. When last we left off, Lux Et Umbra had discovered a strange floating island of garbage in the middle of the steaming sea up at the far north. Turned out that it was a large island of garbage that had been inhabited by a strange race of small salamander-like creatures that called themselves the Salvagemanders. After a bit of some doing and some magic, it was their language was figured out, and they were brought aboard the Windseeker, and quite a bit of deep lore has been discovered from the dreams of these strange creatures. And that's where we're coming in, and there is one thing before I forget I do want Zavid to roll on. Now that they're up here and talking, I'm going to repost the dream in the chat here. It was Pockpox, the Salvagemander who has the wizard hat, this guy. As he was recounting his dream to you, I want you to roll an astronomy lore check in the tower, please.
Yes. Yes.
Because Reese and Khan did not understand the metaphor in that. Okay, great. And now give me another religion in the tower as well.
Ooh, and a religion?
Fantastic. Okay, so you know right off the bat that Grotus is the god of the moon. He is essentially the god who's going to die last in most cosmologies, but he's also just the moon. And the thrush, and I'm going to share this with you now, the thrush is one of the constellations. It's one of the zodiac signs of Galarian. It is the constellation of the thrush, which is at the top, like 12 o'clock on that image, and it's for the month of Abadius. And so when Grotus eats the thrush, that means that the moon is full and it has entered into the constellation of Abadius. Now, with your astronomy lore that you just rolled, you recognize that you've done the calculations already. You realize that this is about a week-ish after the conjunction is supposed to happen. Grotus eating the thrush is roughly when the conjunction is supposed to happen. So this dream that he's having, where there's all this extra food in the water and all this extra debris in the water that they're celebrating so much, is very shortly after the conjunction happens. You're starting to piece together that this little guy had a prophetic dream about the destruction that is going to start happening very soon.
I'm gonna be honest with them. I'll just blame it on the rough beast, and I'm gonna say, we're working to stop this from happening, but we know with enough effort he will arise. Our goal is to make sure that if that happens, he goes right back into the prison in which he currently dwells, doomed to languish there, hungry forever, or at least for the next cycle of, 12,000, 20,000 years, something like that. But we've got to do all we can. Everyone has to do what they can. That includes you guys. So, I don't know what I would want them to do. I just want them to be aware of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what can they do? What can they do to prepare? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is a question that definitely deserves an answer, and it's one I don't have. I guess I just wanted to help them. It seems like they have a very interesting connection to this Devil Lord, who has an interesting connection to the Celestial Gate that we were already going to be going to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I want to prevent them from having their dreams turn to reality, the ones where they're like freezing over and starving because their flotilla got stopped by ice.
Yep.
So they need to move south. Yes?
That's right.
They just need to move south. So what I'll say right now is steadily move that flotilla south if you can. I understand controlling the flotilla is sort of against your principles, but if you do not, that dream will come to pass. So figure out a way to slowly go south. Don't go too fast, because again, predators are incredibly frequent and aggressive right now, and the warmer waters have much bigger and numerous predators. So you want to just sort of go just at the same rate that you know, feel things getting colder. Because that's also going to move the predators you're used to down as well. Once and after Rovaga, I mean the rough beast, I don't like saying his name. I'll say the rough beast has been dealt with. If the world still exists, the bounty and the bounce back of prosperity will show in the way that the seas will become calmer and more plentiful, and you will then be able to go to any sea, and that dream will come to pass.
And as you mentioned them traveling to all seas, they kind of start to murmur. And yeah, that was a really good religion check. You really spoke to them about the necessity to move the flotilla, because normally that's against their beliefs. They go where the current takes them. They believe that the currents are caused by the heat of the great firemander, which is kind of true. You know, the Earth's heat moves water.
Yeah, they're misattributing it.
They're missing it. Yeah, they're misattributing it. But they recognize that if that goes out, the currents go out, and if the currents go out, that's bad.
And so I give them the promise that we will deal with this, whatever is sort of sapping the strength of your lord. I'll give them the name. He is known to his brethren as Floros. So Floros the Firemander, just so you have a name for your lord. I'll give them that. I won't tell them it's a devil. I'll just tell them the name.
And they all kind of get chills at that, learning Floros, Firemander, Floros. Oh.
That way, if anyone else comes across them and knows a bit about devilology, they'll know that, oh, these guys, oh, Floros is a devil. Oh, they worship devil. Okay. And, you know, hopefully they're not like, you know, militant Serenites that are just like, what? Die! Because these guys are harmless, so clearly they would probably try to be like, well, you should follow our lord. And then, you know, I don't know. They're small, but they're adults. Like, they can figure it out on their own if that happens, you know.
Also, Khan, as a crafting legend, is there any way you could assist? I don't know, I'm literally asking. I have no idea. Because their whole island is sort of built out of a natural resin. It's like a mucus that hardens into a resin.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Also, for chat and everyone else at home, I have summoned for all the best of luck for Lao Shupo and Pipette with my possum hoodie, which, yes, I know it's not a rodent, but a marsupial, but it kind of looks like a rat anyway. And the best beasts around that I have, moose and squirrel, for all the good luck for Pipette to find only the best of things. / if this can earn Pipette either some assistance or a hero point or something, because I am dressed ridiculous with cute little relatable mousy mouse friends.
I think I know what bonus to give our good friend, our good rat friend.
Okay.
Khan, roll a crafting check in the chat. Just see what we see.
Maybe Khan is trying to like make a compound that can lower the freezing point of the mucus.
Ooh, interesting. I like that.
So that it doesn't all fall apart. So
it doesn't get
public.
Public is fine. So it just doesn't get brittle and shit. That kind of thing. Ew. 3 for a 34. That's about 1 under what I was looking for. You could have gotten guidance from Zavid, I suppose.
Yeah, or I can just hero point it.
Your call.
I'll hero point it.
Okay.
To make the number ridiculously big.
Yeah, that's always fun. That's higher than I was looking for anyway. Not great, but not the worst. Still a success. Yeah, you're able to come up with... it's like a throat spray, almost like a chloroseptic, that you're able to give to these creatures. You've been experimenting with the mucus that they have. You chipped off a little bit while looking around, and you found that they have a different mucus they can secrete and, you know, barf up essentially, that neutralizes it back into water, basically. So it's like a resin and then an epoxy melter. I can't think of the correct word, but you're able to come up with this sort of chloroseptic throat spray that coats them and allows them to come up with it makes the purple almost a little bit more blue and makes it so that it will freeze at a lower temperature and not be quite as brittle in these cold temps.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We will all use and reinforce flotilla. Yes, we have. It has been getting cold. Things do break off sometimes, but any help is good.
And as you're sort of having this conversation, a few minutes later, Pipette bamfs back onto the deck of the ship. And her hair has singes all over her. She's got a big cut on the side of her eye. She looks to all of you and says, "There is a problem. I went down and found where the rune forge is, and I saw it. I saw where they're pulling the fires and the heat. It's coming through. It's coming from the river Styx out through the different realms. It's going to the rune forge, and it's being focused into a severed head, out of its eyes into the forge itself. I couldn't get a good look at the head or what it was. It was red of hair, shiny red eyes, but something is funneling this heat through something's severed head. I barely made it out before being spotted."
I need to make a check of some kind.
Yeah, that's a religion check.
severed.
Let me help you with that.
Help me, guidance, please. I'm gonna do that too.
Guidance be good. Okay. So you can add 3 to it, Zavid.
Alright, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to eat with a friend after the session, but they had to cancel just now. So I
Gotcha.
don't have to leave right away or anything.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So we're adding +3 to this.
That's right. Religion in the tower, please.
I really want to get a high roll on this.
Oh, 41 is pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, average, or the normal DC for this level is 35, so 41 is pretty good.
You know what? No. I am not satisfied with...
All right, then throw it publicly then, if you're hero pointing it. Because you got a 40... Here, I'll even show you. You got a 41.
Yeah, because I want only...
It was a natural 9.
Less, come on. Okay, well...
Natural 9 again, same exact.
Two
Okay.
times.
So, 41 it is.
Yeah.
But... kind of piecing together what the Salvage Manders have said with what Pipette has said, and what Reese said about the Rune Forge, you're realizing that one of you, I don't remember which one of you said it, but you're correct, only a Rune Lord can use the Rune Forge.
Oh.
You figured it out, yes.
Yeah,
Someone is
okay.
using the severed head of a Rune Lord as a focus to use the Rune Forge.
Okay. So, who are the... I look at Pipette. Okay, I think I understand what the head is, but who are those that are using the head? A cult? Is it like a bunch, or is it the one entity that is moving things around?
There was several creatures. I could not get a good look. It was so bright down near the forge itself. The flames were, even for my divine eyes, were difficult for my vision to pierce. But there was more than one. There was a large creature that was clearly the smith itself, hammering away at something. Sparks were shooting everywhere, but there was many creatures, an army of creatures aiding it, moving things here and there, working the bellows, many things. I could not get a good look. Too hot, too bright. Not in this form.
Yes, you have done well. Now we know how they're doing it. So all we need to know now is the identity of our enemy and how we're going to approach them.
Yes, go with caution. They have many allies.
And Pipette is going to curl up back into Khan's hood. She is injured and hurt, or injured and tired.
Oh.
This makes me wonder about Asmodeus and whether or not he is aware of what's happening and if he has a stake in this. Because if he's unaware,
To be
he's
clear,
gonna
it was
wanna
not in
know.
hell.
Right. He's going to want to know what's going on. That the river Styx, which connects all of the lower planes, right? All of their heat is being transferred away to fuel this thing that he has no part in, that his realm's energy is going to make? That's not fair. No contract was even signed. This isn't right. So I'm thinking in my head, like, yeah, we're going to need to... We can't go alone, but we already have an audience, scheduled with Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells. So maybe, the Archdevil of Beator will actually, like, hey, do us a favor, a solid, if we tell him, hey, there's some bad... It's sort of like, has anyone watched Constantine? Like, from 2004 with, like, there's a moment where Lucifer gets summoned to the final scene where Constantine is dying, and he's like, "You're the only one I came to whose soul I would collect personally," because he hates him so much. And Constantine goes, in the other room right now, the Archangel Gabriel is about to release your son unto the world and completely supplant you as the Lord of the Hells by bringing the apocalypse early. And he goes, "You're bluffing." He goes, "Just look." So he walks in there, sees what's happening, and then he beats the shit out of Gabriel, burns her wings, and then goes, "Okay, Constantine, what do you want? An extension? Like, what's the deal that you're trying to make with me here, that you gave me that information?" So I feel like we're going to be doing a very similar thing with Asmodeus.
Because it is a very decent assumption that heat is also being siphoned away from hell. No one has said that explicitly yet, but that is
no. I mean, because if it's a bunch of devils, even then, that doesn't mean that they're his. They could be a duke or someone trying to supplant him, right? So, we don't know. I guess is the main takeaway.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
I want everyone to give me perception checks in the tower, please.
You got it.
Perception check.
Okay, Reese. Wow, that was really high. You are listening into this conversation that Zavid is having with himself and Pipette and everyone, and you start to hear water lapping waves crashing against stuff. And then, all of a sudden, you hear a conch shell. And looking over the side of the Windseeker down at the flotilla, you see that there are many narwhal approaching the flotilla.
Oh my god.
Please roll initiative, everybody.
Oh my god.
And I know a couple of you have to go, so we'll do a round or two, and then we can call it at the top.
Yeah.
Alright, you got it.
Go.
Because, to be clear, there are more salvage manders than the 5 you brought up on the Windseeker. Those were just the 5 you brought up.
Yeah.
I hate how, a 30 just feels so awful.
No, high-level Pathfinder, 30 is terrible.
Yeah. 30. What am I trying to do? Lose?
Right?
Let's see. Perception.
Oh my god!
How about a 26? And I used my hero point, so we're just gonna...
Yeah. Khan, do you want to use your WOG power to give everyone a +3 to their initiative? Because that would be really helpful right now.
God, we need that.
Okay, so let's see here. Zavid, you have a 29. Reese, you've got a 33.
29.
7. And then 15 temporary.
Even with the WOG power, I couldn't even break 30.
No.
Hilarious. So before we get into this, you've got all the NPCs there. Do any of you want to use any of them? You don't have to, but you're welcome to if you'd like.
Otherwise, I think Gunnar would have a great time. I need to see Gunnar versus a narwhal.
Gunnar fighting narwhals? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll have Gunnar roll in this one. And then we'll just gonna have Adelina and Anyanka sit this one out. How about that? They're gonna be dealing with the ship.
That sounds
'Cause
great.
no one likes when the DM is playing 600 characters. Great. So that's gonna give these narwhals plenty of time to do shit. Oh, that's bad. So, firstly, this pack of... Oh, I have images as well that I can share. That's fun. So there's the pod. Here's these whales seem to be working not only in small, tight groups, but also as individuals around this map area. So you can see that the tokens look like this as well.
Oh my god.
This first swarm or pod of narwhals is going to make a movement action up towards this center, and then using its remaining 2 actions is going to make a wave splash up onto the center island, moving across it. And I need to have 3 of these little guys make reflex saves. Because again, they're not up on the map. Ooh, but 2 of them manage to make their dex saves and jump into their holes, but 1 actually does get pushed off into the water. So there is a floating salvagemander, and I will draw it over here.
Wow, we really looked. Oh God,
You got lucky that you got 5 of them up.
they're all coming for us.
They are. Let's see. So
We're fine. It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine.
That's all right. We're great.
Second pair of narwhal pods does the same thing. Splashes a big wave, but this time over on this section of the map. Making an additional... Those 2 that were in there before that made their saves have to make another, but they get a +2. And unfortunately, one of them does indeed fail again, and it pushes them into the water down on the south. In there. So there are now 2 of these things in the water. Oh man, a third one gets to go. So this narwhal pod, seeing that there is now a salvagemander in the water, swims over to it, and their ability is called Pincushion. So each enemy in the pod space takes 5d6 piercing plus 3d6 electric damage with a basic reflex save. So here we go.
Electric?
Uh-huh. So that is fortunately a save.
Average narwhals.
It is not. 2, 3, 4. This thing, it manages to kind of leap up above the waterline right as the electricity hits it, and the salvagemander has taken some damage, mostly tusk damage, but does not seem to be dead at this point, thankfully. New narwhal swims to here, and can only take 1 attack with its tusk on this one that fell off the side. Oh, that's a miss. Good. This one is swimming in and prepares an A-tusk action for in case the salvagemander to the east gets free. Khan, you're finally up.
Finally.
And if you're on your mount, you can start essentially anywhere on the map. Just tell me where you want to go, and I'll put you there.
Gotcha.
But it's going to take at least 1 movement action to get to the edge of the map.
All right.
Oh, and your mount has 36.5.
I should get in there and zap.
Yeah, do something. So, north, south, east, or west side?
East.
East. All right. So, Khan, you are here, and your mount is there.
I'd like to get close to this narwhal pod and the individual narwhal. I want to do a chain lightning.
Okay, great. So your mole mount can move up to 80 feet. So you've done 1 movement. Let's see. What do you need to be in? Within 30 feet or so?
Let's double check. Yeah, within 30 feet of... Oh, wait. the targets need to be within 30 feet of each other. It says the range is 500 feet.
Okay, that's
What?
awesome. I'm gonna double check on that because that's ridiculous, but that would be incredible. And you said it's chain lightning?
Yeah.
Chain lightning.
Huh?
Yeah, 500 feet. Hell. So yeah, you can absolutely hit him from there.
All right, sweet. Well, then
I-
she raises her hands up into the sky. She does jazz hands, and then a smite from the heavens strikes down upon the pod of dolphins.
Amazing. So I have made them your target. So if you click the magnifying glass next to chain lightning, and then click the D20 next to ref DC 35, that'll make them roll.
I know you said dolphins on accident, but now I'm thinking of a dolphin that is a narwhal, and I am frightened shitless.
A 1. Oh my god, 2 of them rolled natural
Wow.
ones. And the other one rolled a success for half damage. So 2 of them are going to take double, and the other one's going to take half. So click that little blood drop, and
Yeah.
that'll do 16 D12 electricity to 2 of them. Holy crap. Oh, you attack.
Damn!
Holy
I don't know why
crap.
I'm attacking Gunnar.
Yeah, I don't know why you're attacking Gunnar either. I'm going to go ahead and. I think you must
God
have him
shows her true
targeted,
colors.
right?
Yeah.
Now of all
Yeah,
times.
for some reason, Gunnar's. There we go. I untargeted him, and I will heal him, because that's hilarious. But wow, 57 damage to both. Wow, both of the narwhals are the ones that rolled the nat ones. Gunnar's the one that rolled the 18. So both of them critically fail as you summon this insane ball of lightning just from the sky. You're not really helping your case with the whole "you aren't gods" thing. FYI, and you do have one more action because your mount got that one movement for free.
All right. Let's see. I can't think of much to do because both of my cantrips are 2 actions.
Mhm.
I guess maybe get in range and
Yeah, you can command your mount to make 2, like to do 2 actions. You could have it move and then. Oh wait, no, it can't attack. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not special like Rot Trot, but you could command it to move. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Khan is gonna try to. Well, Khan will command the bolt to like get in the way of these narwhals. Try to run interference.
Okay, great. So you like going into its space
Yeah.
to like take damage instead of the salamander?
Yes.
That's very cool. Okay, you absolutely have the movement to get over there, so you can just put yourself anywhere near or in that little circle. There you go. Awesome. That'll be the end of your turn. So that brings it to a narwhal. So this one is not near anything that fell off. So it's going to take almost its entire turn to move. Let's see here. Oop. Yeah, it's going to have to spend its entire turn getting to here. So that's all it can do. Pod time. This one is going to swim up to where the fallen salvage benders are here, force it to roll a dex save, or they're going to take good half damage again. Fantastic. These things are good in dex. Oh, and I rolled really bad damage. Hooray! Look at that. I rolled 5 damage. 3 1s and a 2 on its. This one got lucky. It only took 5 damage, as these narwhals are trying to pincushion it with their tusks. But failing. Reese, you are now finally up. And
So-
just decide a place and I'll drop you on the map.
I'd say to where that the narwhal number 1 is.
Number 1. Okay, over on the west.
Yep.
Sure.
Over
So
near
I've-
the west side, yeah.
Right there. And there is your owl.
Alright, so I think Reese is going to stay that distance, but what he's going to try to do is, well, first he's going to summon his wog so he can get 2 shots off of it. So I'm going to go and... maybe?
Oh, you don't have to actually cast it. You just say you're using it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Alright, so...
Which one are you attacking? The pod or the single narwhal?
I'm gonna attack the pod because what I want to do is use an elemental arrow of earth and try to just like bludgeon them from the sky.
Okay, go for it. Good hit. Yeah, you managed to hit one of the narwhal within this pod with an arrow. So drop the damage from that earth arrow on it. However, since this is a big pod, it's a mess of moving creatures, the arrow doesn't seem to find quite as much purchase as you think it should have.
Yeah.
It seems that the fact that this is, it's mechanically a swarm, and swarms have very specific weaknesses and resistances, and you have just discovered that bludgeoning is at least one of those resistances. It has a resistance of 15 to bludgeoning damage, even magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
But that is helpful information.
It
It's
is
not immune to
helpful.
it. It's just resist 15.
So
You still have one more attack at your max.
then at my max, I'm gonna go for the regular narwhal number 1.
Okay, let me untarget target. Okay. And what are you attacking it with? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's a miss.
Yeah.
But you have 2 more actions.
I do, and I think I'm just gonna make it my hunted prey.
Okay, 1 more action. Let me do the hunted prey thing. I should add your character sheet up.
Yep.
Come on, load. And then hunted prey is... Wow, you have so much crap. Hunter's Edge
know.
Precision. There it is. And hunter's prey. That one. Okay, you should be good.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna see for funsies if I can hit it. Question. The resistance, was that for the pod or the narwhal itself?
The pod. The fact
Okay.
swarms have specific resistances
Okay.
that this individual may or may not have.
Awesome. I think what I'm gonna do then is what would an air arrow be?
Those are arrow is electricity.
Electricity. Oh, I'm going to go and electrify that narwhal and try to see if I can hit it.
All right, see if you can hit it.
And that's with my lowest.
Yeah, AC is 36. Looks like. Ooh, oh, hey, that was almost a 3, so that 19 will do.
Yep.
So for a 40, go ahead and do your arrow damage. And all of that goes through. The piercing and the electricity as this arrow sails and you could see this narwhal swimming around the island, going towards where this one fallen salvage mender was, but you managed to pierce it with your arrow, and I believe that was your last action. Yep. So Gunnar, oh goodness, he doesn't have a mount, which is funny. So what he's gonna do is I'm gonna make him roll something.
Gunnar can use Rot Trot if he doesn't have a better option.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be funny. Especially because you rolled a natural 2. Gunnar,
Oh no.
because you're not the Windseeker isn't far from the flotilla, gets a running start and leaps off of the Windseeker with axe and shield in hand. However, he miscalculated his jump and got a 25 for a critical failure. His foot gets caught on the side, and he tumbles forward, and he does manage to get into the fray, but he splashes into the water since he got a critical failure.
I just imagine him belly flopping really hard.
Yeah,
You know when
so
a
Gunnar
belly
is now
flop
here.
hurts?
Yeah, it hurt him bad. In fact, he's going to take some damage. Zavid, how high up did you say the Windseeker was? You said it was.
I lowered us to 40 feet.
Okay, so he's going to take 4d6 damage. He's going to take 9 damage. That's not too bad. So 9 wounds, but he still has two actions remaining. So he is going to attack this narwhal that is right next to him with his axe. That hits, fantastic. It is, and he hits it with his. Oh, I should have raged. I'm going to back up and say he had raged as his second action. So that's going to add 4 extra electricity damage to Narwhal 3. Narwhal 3, 35. As he yells out, as he's running off of the deck, "For Valhalla! For the little guy!" He was trying to say "for the little guys," but sploosh! Oh, and as he's flailing, trying to get to the surface, his axe finds purchase in this creature. That's the end of his turn. Zavid, you are finally up.
Alright. I'm going to... I was going to stay on the Windseeker, bring it closer. Or have Anyanka pilot it and bring it closer.
Sure, she can do that. And I've put...
I'll get to the edge of the sort of ship, I suppose. Or start my turn there, so I don't have to use an action to do it. And then I want to cast the spell Tempest of Shades, which has a 100-foot range, and it's a 60-foot emanation.
Ooh, I can get you that. Wait, not to roll.
Yeah, I just need to figure out where is the best spot, because Gunnar and... Yeah, well, maybe.
There's 60.
Yeah, I'm thinking I want to get as many of the people here in it as possible, but Gunnar just kind of ran up. I think I don't care that Gunnar ran up and did that. I think we need to take these things down before they start hurting.
All right.
Take it.
Yeah, especially what kind of a save is it?
This is a good question actually. Hello, what kind of save is this? You channel the force of undeath to briefly call forth an amalgam of the vengeful dead slain by your enemies and allies alike. The amalgam manifests as a large tornado of insubstantial howling faces. That's fun. That is cool. It occupies the space of a huge creature and has a speed of 60 feet. When it arrives... Okay, so it's like a thing that shows up. When it arrives, the vortex of death, each enemy creature must make a fortitude save with the following effects within a 60-foot emanation of the huge-sized amalgam. So a fortitude save against my DC, crit success, nothing happens. A regular success, you're drained 1. Failure, you're drained 2. Critical failure, you're drained 3.
Yikes. Well, good news for Gunnar. He's a paladin and he has the Juggernaut ability. So if he even gets a regular success, it's a critical success.
Sweet. All right, so my DC, I think it was like, what, 37 or something? I forgot.
That sounds right. Let's look. Actions. Cleric. 37, yes.
Okay. After all this time, on my character sheet, I've never found where my spell save DC is, but I notice it's the same as my AC, so I'm just going to look at that from now on to know what my DC is, because it should match.
Put you on the map. You said you're on the south side, roughly?
Yeah, I'm still on the Windseeker. I want to be able to hop on to Rot Trot and get off when I need to, but from the deck of the ship, because of the 100-foot range, I want to just bam unleash these spirits right there. I want the salamanders to see me do it. This is essentially.
I have put you on the map over on the south just to make this work better. You said you're doing Tempest of Shades?
Yes.
Why does it say Fortitude to save or a Will DC save? It has 2 options.
Because I think it's Will on the Depart. So when it arrives, it has an effect, and then the next round, it does a Depart, and it has another effect.
Cool, then I'm going to make all 4 of these take a Fortitude save. Let's see what happens. Oh, I see a 4 and a 2. There's a regular success, a regular success, a regular success, and a failure. Cool.
Alright, so the failure gets drained 2, the successes all get drained 1, and then we have to have our buddy roll, and if he gets a success, he's fine.
Wait, did 4 of those roll?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 33. Oh, yeah, 1 failed, 3 succeeded, I guess. Okay. So, sorry, what does the failure get?
2 drained 2. Success gets drained 1.
Okay, drained 1 for the other 3, and then drained 2 for that one. Great, I have given them that. And then you said something happens. Oh, and Gunnar's
got a roll, yeah.
So we're looking for 37 here. On Fortitude save, he's a master. Oh, natural 1. However, he has a single hero point because he is Gunnar. Oh, he doesn't actually. Oh, I thought he did. That's fun.
Can someone help our buddy?
Yeah, he can have my hero my second hero point.
Cool. He pretty much just needs to just not roll that. Let's see. Come on, bud.
Don't say that. You know what's going to happen now.
Better. 35 is just a regular failure. So he can just take half damage. Or no, it's just drained 1, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If he regular fails and that up because of his whatever juggernaut thing, it goes up by 1, then it's drained 1 for him.
Yep. Okay, so he just regular fails. Cool. Great. Wonderful. I think that's your entire turn. That looks like a 3-action cast, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then on my next turn, it'll depart and do another thing.
Awesome. That brings it to this narwhal down here. It just... I'm going to make it roll something, because... What did that look like?
The souls of the dead flow through this ocean. Many ships are lost at sea, especially, I imagine, Viking longships in this area, as I have pulled all of these dead sailors and Vikings that have met their end on the ocean to come back for a moment to unleash their rage and anger upon everything within that area. This vortex of death. And then next turn will be the Howl of Eternity. That's what it's called. It's very fun.
That's very cool. So I rolled a 30 on its perception check to see that. So it is terrified of all of that. And it is not going to attack that. What it is going to do instead is look to the northeast to see the commotion that's going on over there. And it's going to use an ability we called Impaling Charge. The narwhal swims twice and makes a tusk strike. If it has moved at least 20 feet from its starting position, it deals an extra 1d10 damage. A target damaged by Impaling Charge is grabbed. And it can extend the grab if it wants. So it is... Whoop, that is not what I wanted. So, however, Con, what you see is this narwhal swim, and attempt to impale this wounded narwhal with its tusk.
They're turning on each other.
Oh, and it does a shit. It kills it.
Oh.
And it impales it upon its tusk and drags it down beneath the water. And they both disappear. That's 4 and 2. Yes.
Weird. Why are they turning on each other, I wonder?
They're hungry.
Con, roll a nature check for me, please.
You got it.
And yes, you see some blood float up to the top of the water. I'm going to leave that one that time. Number 1, they're hungry, but you remember, you've heard Zavid talk about it so much. Abalon the horse is making animals go crazy. And it's making herbivores more territorial. It's making scavengers attack things before they die. Or eat things before they die. It's making carnivores eat more than they would normally. So you're thinking perhaps Abalon is making these things cannibalistic.
I see.
Mm-hmm. But that ends its turn. I think that's the end of the round. It is top. Brings it to... yes, this pod doesn't know what just happened, but it sees commotion in the water. It's going to swim over to here to Gunnar and use pin cushion on him. So he has to make a reflex save of 40, which is really high.
I'm sorry that I drained him.
I think that's mostly just hit points, but he's not great at reflex saves anyway. Unless he rolls a natural 19 for a 40. God dang. So,
all right.
Good job, Gunnar.
He was a little spooked, but now he's doing great.
Yeah, he's okay. He's all right. Oops. I have to move that. There we go. 2d6 piercing. Here we go. 7 damage. That's not bad, Gunnar. See? Okay, then it's this one at the top. It is going to attempt to... This pod swims beneath the waves and pops up over here near Yukon and you are still hovering, correct? You're not in the water or near the water?
Yeah.
Okay. and they're going to attempt to mix in with this other pod, and both the Salvagemander and this other pod will have to make a reflex save. So that's number 3 has to make a reflex. Oh, good. The Salvagemander made a critical reflex save. So I'm going to interpret that as it managed to crawl up onto the side here, onto this little island. So let me erase a little bit. My circle, can't do that? Doesn't want me to do that. Okay, whatever. So it's up here on the land now. However, the other one takes some impaling damage. For that's number 3. Takes another 15 damage. And a lot of these are looking very hurt. The ones that are under Yukon. This new pod of narwhals has come up and rushed it and started stabbing it with their tusks and dragging the littler ones under. And this one, they are leaping up out of the water, trying to just get out of here. And I need you to make a reflex save for me, Con.
You got it.
Publicly is fine. Looking for I'm gonna make it easier. 38.
Let's go.
No problem at all. You were able to get the mole to hover up a little bit higher as just one of these creatures just barely misses you with its tusk and lands back in the water and is going to do a little damage to the other narwhal pod because they were just attacked by them. Ooh, critical failure, so they take 30 damage as these wounded creatures seem to be fighting back. Man, so many of these got to go before you guys. It's funny. Oh, no. So this one over here is attacking Gunnar, but it's right near him. Gonna use its tusk attack. Ooh, that's gonna miss for sure. Follow up with a bite. Might hit. That does hit. Good. And then it will follow up at the end with one more Jaws attack that it will most likely miss. Yep, even with an natural 15.
I think under more normal circumstances, Zavid would believe that, yeah, this is Avalon the horse just being Avalon the horse, but we got so low in initiative. I think Zavid thinks these are like agents of Rovagug. Like he sent, they're
devils.
so fast and coordinated, but because of the rough beasts, sort of whatever, they're like devouring each other, like the hunger seeps into his minions, and I'm like, oh my god, the rough beast is awakening. This is a sign of the end. I'm starting to think narwhals, now that I know they exist, these must be agents of Rovagug. Like Rovagug's form must be that of a narwhal because of like how devastating these things are. And I'm starting to get a little bit, I don't know, like, I think I might go on a crusade against these things even after the fact, just so he doesn't have them to call upon in like 12,000 years.
I have to interrupt and say I win. I literally told my partner my goal for this session was to make you guys want to kill narwhals. That was my goal. Make the Salvagemander so cute you had blood in your eyes for narwhal flesh. I mean,
I definitely don't want them to come to harm. I'm just, the fact that we got so low on initiative is making me think they're way more competent than they are, and I'm like, it has begun. Rovagug has made his first move.
Yes, these are clearly agents of the rough beast, but Khan, you are now up.
Let's see. I've used my 6th level spell. So I'm fresh out of those bad boys.
That's right.
And that's really the only big blast of energy spell I have. Unless does acid splash target more than one person?
It does splash damage, yeah.
Haha.
And you would know by now, Khan would know that mechanically swarms are weak to splash.
Yes. Khan hasn't used acid splash enough. She should. She should
Nice.
cast it more.
Great. So it is a ranged spell attack. So click the magnifier glass next to acid splash and either make one your target or just drop the R spell onto one or the other.
All right, cool. I'll go for this pod. I'll kick them while they're down.
Not
No!
quite. Oh, that was close though. They have an AC of 40. Yeah, you need a little higher.
Yeah. And I'm fresh out of hero points, so I will let that lie.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was a miss. You still have one action though.
I still have one
Uh,
action.
a note. These things are fighting each other. If you position yourself, you could flank.
So true.
And that could be your mole's action, and then you would have one action left.
Mm-hmm. But I'll see about giving this given the underdog
The underdog.
narwhals.
All right, giving the
Leg
underdog
up.
some help. Cool.
I was racing in my brain, like, oh my gosh, what's the term? Underdog.
I have made number 4 off guard for you.
Sweet.
They're
Then
narwhals versus the narwhals.
then yeah, I'm gonna make a stab attack.
Sweet. At that
I
29.
mean near walls, because
Near
far,
walls and
not
far
far
walls.
walls, near walls. Yeah, sorry, I messed that up there.
Near walls and far walls. Oh,
There we
that'll
go.
hit. Yeah, 45
There we
will
go.
absolutely do it.
I'll do.
And you will get sneak attack.
Sweet.
Ooh, there's some 6s in there. 46 damage. That's real good. So again, it is a swarm, so it's partially resist. You're just kind of stabbing into this pod of whales, essentially. But your sword does go through. You get blade to blubber up in there, doing 46 damage, and you also get your 2 debilitations.
Sweet. Make them bleed. I mean, that would actually really help, because if there's blood in the
Would.
water.
That's right. So let's see. There's the bleed.
Blood, and I'll reduce their movement speed.
Okay.
Those are my 2 debilitations.
Bleed and movement speed. Cool. So that's all you can do. Brings it to this narwhal over here. And it is going to use its rush attack over at Gunnar. Boy, it is bad that he critically failed that athletics check. But it is going to use Impaling Charge to try and attack our good boy. Thankfully, these are stupid creatures, so they don't know what flanking is. Ooh, but it hit him with a crit. That's fun.
Ooh.
Watch this be how Gunnar dies.
Gunnar
We don't even
dies.
get to his place before he gets killed by the. And we go to their people and we say he was a hero, and Agents of Robocock destroyed him before he could come here.
He is now grabbed, which sucks a lot for him. Wow, that was a bunch of damage. 72 damage as this thing impales your good buddy with its tooth. Now let's see, what does it do? He's grabbed until the start of the Noel's next turn. Yeah, and it's just going to follow up with a bite attack. Actually, no, it missed. Hands off the chest piece. So it misses with that, which is good. This pod is going to do the same thing as it has been. Make him roll another reflex save. Looking for a 40 here. Oh, he saved. Good. Oops. 4 and 15 is 17, so that's 127 wounds. He is finally bloodied, so Gunnar is starting to bleed into the water now, but that's all that whale can do. Reese, you are up.
I think Reese is gonna swoop in and grab Gunnar and bring him to not water.
Great. I believe you might have... Let's see, how far is he? He's 150 feet, so you're going to have to use one of your actions to give your mount an extra action.
It's fine.
Okay, so you'll have your mount's action to get half, then you can essentially use one action to give your mount 2, so it can use a second of it to get there. Yep. I want you to roll an athletics check publicly to see if you can pick up Gunnar, because he's a big man and he's wearing plate armor.
So Reese is strong.
But Reese is very strong, yes. Athletics with any bonuses you're able to come up with. Give yourself a +1 because you've got the bird, the inertia from flying the bird. And I want a 35.
Okay, so you said athletics?
Yeah, athletics, publicly. Ooh, 30.
Anybody have a hero?
Anyone have a hero point? Let me see if
It is
either of the
mine.
other Windseekers do. Let me see. Does Anyanka have one? Anyanka has one. Adelina
thank
does not, but
God.
Anyanka does. Boom. There you go.
Oh, thank God.
So
Okay.
roll it with a +1 again. 35. So you're needing an 11.
That's all I need. It's not going to be too hard.
Come on, just an 11.
15.
That'll do
Yeah!
it. 39.
Swoop 'em up.
Okay. So you were able to get him as much as 60 feet away. So like straight up onto the Windseeker?
Oh,
Or were you taking-
no. Yes, because if
Yeah.
Anyanka or somebody can help him,
Mhm.
we're going to do
Great.
that.
All right. So I'm just going to take him off of the map. Perfect. So you've gotten Gunnar up onto the Windseeker. That was a series of bad rolls on his part. That should have gone much better than it did. But you have one more action remaining.
I think what I'm going to do is sink an electric arrow into the pod. See
Okay.
what that does.
Yeah, the piercing will be mostly resisted. The electricity
Oh,
won't.
okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah, that's...
You might be better off shooting one of the single whales.
You know what? I'm gonna do that, and which one is it that's already... That isn't one of them the one that I already hit?
1 it has been damaged, and 3 has also been damaged.
Okay, so I'll just go to 1.
Ooh, that's crit. Good
Yeah.
job. All right. So using an electric arrow on this one.
Arrow.
That's a ton of damage.
Lord.
Look at that. 66 damage with a single arrow as you chip its tusk. That was quite good. And if you were using your WOG, you can roll one more.
Oh yeah, I am.
Single action.
Yep. Single action, so I'll do one more, and
That thing is looking pretty close to
Yeah.
dead, actually.
this isn't that my hunted prey? Did I make one of them my hunted prey?
You did that one, and that purple D8 in there was the hunted
Okay,
prey.
dope. I thought so.
Yep.
Okay.
It rolled correctly for once.
Oh.
That one's gonna miss, yeah. Okay. So then that's the end of your turn. Zavid, you're up. And you're on the edge of the Windseeker. Reese just pulls Gunnar up bleeding and plops him on the deck.
I'm like concentrating on my spell, and I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "Craziest thing! I got distracted. I saw my grandpa come out of the water as a spirit," and I'm like, "Oh, that's weird, man. That's totally strange."
I
And
could
I
totally
looked on
save
Yak, I'm like,
Valhalla,
"Pull
Gunnar."
us up, pull us up."
The Windseeker will begin to rise.
And I just pretend like I don't know anything about that as I
Definitely was not.
next. I don't think I need to do an action for this. I think it just happens at the end of my turn.
Mm-hmm.
With the rest of the thing. So what I'll do instead is, if I'm still in range, I want to do a 3-action harm as a cone, but I can do it as 2 actions because I can do fast channel.
Sure, that works.
So
Let
a
me make them all your
directed
target.
full channel is a fast channel, and I want to let's see. I can as a 60-foot cone, I could hit all of these guys and my friends.
And Reese.
So can I sculpt it around them? Can I make sure so that they don't get hurt?
Let's see. You said it's a cone?
It is a cone, yeah.
How big?
It's a 60-foot cone.
Looks like that.
Reese can take it.
Reese, I think, is also a juggernaut, maybe. Let me
Yeah.
see. Combat.
Okay.
Yeah, he is. If he gets a regular success, it's a crit.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. I will then roll a harm then.
So so where it says Fort DC 37 under your divine font, just click that little D20 and it should automatically make all of them roll.
Okay.
There's a couple of failures in there. That's good.
Reese failed. Oh.
But so did almost all of the whales. Only one of them succeeded. Pod number 2 succeeded, but all the rest failed. So, click that blood icon and to roll the damage. That's quite a lot. Oh my god.
Reese is fine.
Yep. So one of the narwhals dies from this. It just gets its
Good.
energy drained. The other ones are severely wounded, and Reese, you do take a big blast of this damage, but not near as much as all these creatures.
Yeah.
All right, and now, and now we're gonna do sorry, what is this called? This is the
Tempest of Shades, right?
yeah, but this is a scrunched. I can't see. Okay, here it is. Will DC. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, with 100-foot emanation.
Oh, jeez.
We should. That's why I said, Anyanka, get us out of here. So on my turn, we move out of the realm. This is also going to hit Reese. I'm sorry, Reese.
It's okay,
Oh,
Reese.
let me do.
Reese can take it.
So
It's like
I'm about to
200 something
make them
health. He's
roll.
at like
1
150
second.
now.
Okay.
1 second. Oh, come on. Why can't I make it? Target Reese. Target Reese. There you go. Okay, now everything's targeted correctly.
As the howl of eternity, the vengeful dead lets out an anguished scream. All your enemies. Oh, all your enemies. It says all my enemies, and not.
Okay.
Oh, also, wait a minute. Each enemy creature within 60-foot emanation. This is safe for friends. This is a safe thing.
Hell yeah.
He's not drained, and I'm
Okay,
so
cool.
sorry.
Great.
Gunnar's not drained. You don't have to roll against this. This is just the narwhals.
Heck yeah. I will take off Gunnar's drained then.
Okay. But here we go.
Gunnar still just got stabbed real good, though.
He just got this crap stabbed out of him. Yeah, I see a nat 20 in there. 16, 16, nat 20,
So,
nat 14. The others were all
That
really good.
all right. Well, so that means the nat 20 they're unaffected, but those who only got a success are frightened 1.
So pod number 1. Let's remove. Come on. Okay, so Zavid's targets. Pod number 1. There we go. Okay, so the successes are frightened 1?
Correct.
Okay, there we go. I gave them all frightened.
That is my turn for the most part. I guess if I have an action or something left, I'd shield.
I think you do have that much, so sure. I'll give you that. AC +1. End of your turn. And I think this is the end of the round. I
Yeah.
think this is a good place to stop since a couple of you need to go. We'll pick this up at the top of the round next time, which will be all of the whales getting to go. You've done a pretty great job so far. Just kind of need to mop up and save the last couple of stragglers who are still stuck in the water. But hope everyone will join us next time, where we'll see where we go from here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.